this video is to show you how to make one of these cute little jelly bean crabs. So these little crabs are a completely no-sew project. They work up super fast, and I have used the Hobbii Honey Bunny yarn here for my examples. I will use Hobbii Honey Bunny again today. So this is the color Pumpkin. And then I also have a little bit of medium worsted weight yarn in white, just for that little bit of eye detail along the side. So besides yarn, you also need a crochet hook. This is an H hook or 5.0 millimeter. I have 10 millimeter safety eyes, but you could also embroider eyes on after if you'd like. And then I've got my needle, scissors, some stitch markers, and a little bit of stuffing. So if you'd like to follow along with a written version of the pattern, there will be a free version available once this video goes public. And it'll be available on my blog, and I will link it below. And there's also a paid version available on Ravelry and Etsy, and there will be links to that as well. So just a little bit of housekeeping to start. If you want to adjust the speed of the video, there's a cog in the upper right corner. So click that, and the drop-down menu will show you the adjust playback speed. So click that as well, and then you can speed it up or slow it down, whatever your preference is. And don't forget, you can also pause the video whenever you like to either take a break or get caught up. And that's about it, so let's get started. So let's begin with the head and body. We're going to start with a magic ring. Now, if you don't like to do magic rings, you could chain 2 and place all the stitches from round 1 into the second chain from the hook. So I do my magic rings and keep everything nice and loose for the first round, and then work tighter after that. So round 1, we're going to place 8 single crochet stitches into our ring. Okay, and then we'll close our ring up. So it can be more difficult with more stitches on there. There we go. Okay. So don't forget to add your stitch marker in the last stitch of the round. And then we're going to move on to round 2. So round 2 is going to be an increase round, and we're going to go from having 8 stitches up to 16 stitches. So to do that, we're going to place 2 single crochet stitches into each stitch around. So again, 2 single crochet stitches in each stitch all the way around. Okay, so on to round 3. So round 3, we are going to have a couple of increases, and we're also going to have a couple of bobble stitches. So we're going to create the spots for the eyes on this next round. So we want to begin with a single crochet in our next stitch, and then we're going to do our bobble stitch. So for the bobble stitch, you want to yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2. So it's kind of like the beginning of a double crochet stitch. We want to do that another 4 times, so 5 times in total, and then we'll pull the stitches together at the top. So again, you want to yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, we're going to repeat 3 more times. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2. So 2 more times. And again, this is all being worked in the same stitch. If you want a video that shows more specifically how to do a bobble stitch, I do have a beginner's series of videos, and there's one about a bobble stitch. Okay, so once you have 6 loops on your hook, you're going to yarn over and pull through all 6 loops. Then you want to kind of tighten it down a little bit so that your bobble stitch will stick out. Okay, so there's your stitch. And then you want to push it over so that you find the actual next stitch, because it kind of gets bunched in there. So you want to make sure that you've got the next correct stitch. So after your bobble stitch, you want to single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So when you're in here, the second single crochet stitch here, you want to mark, because we'll use that later for lining things up. There's the 3. I'm gonna mark this middle stitch here. Okay, and then I need to do a second bobble stitch. So again, for your bobble stitch, you want to yarn over, insert your hook into the indicated stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2. 3 more times here. Okay, so now that we have 6 loops on the hook, we're going to yarn over and pull through all 6 loops. Okay, and then we're going to single crochet in the next stitch. Remember, we need to push over our bobble to make sure we have the correct stitch. Single crochet here, and then you're going to place 2 single crochets in your next stitch. Then single crochet in the next 7 stitches. And then in this last stitch, we're going to place 2 single crochets. Okay, so on to round 4. Round 4, we are going to single crochet in each stitch around. So you should have 18 stitches now. So, and then at the end of this round, you will still have 18 stitches. So again, just single crochet in each stitch. So for round 5, we're going to do the exact same thing, except that we want to work only in the back loop of each stitch around. So each stitch has 2 parts to it here. It's got the front loop, I don't know if you can see that, there's a front loop and a back loop, which makes the little V. So we're going to work in the back loop all the way around. We want to single crochet in the back loop of each stitch all the way around. So what this does is it leaves the front loop open, and we will use that to put that edging around the ridge around the crab. So again, for round 5, we're going to single crochet in each stitch, but in the back loop only for each stitch. So we will still have 18 stitches by the time we work around here. All right, on to round 6. So round 6, we're gonna start working some legs. But before we do that, we want to place the animal down on the hard surface here because we want to make sure that our claws are going to line up properly. So we want to find the middle 5 stitches here. So because we all crochet a little bit differently, our tension's a little bit different. Sometimes our stitches will go off to the right or the left more than others. So I'm just want to make sure that we've got our claws in the right spot here. So those middle 5 stitches, so here's the very center one. There are 2 on either side. I'm going to mark the 1st and 5th one just to show you. Okay. So those are our center ones. So what we want to make sure is that the first stitch that we're doing of this next round is right here. So if that isn't your next stitch naturally, then you want to add or remove stitches to make this your next stitch. Okay, so for me, it works out that this is my next stitch anyways, but for some of you, it may not. Okay, so if you have to add or remove stitches, they don't count for or against the next round. They're just shift stitches. Okay, so we want to start in the front loop only of this next stitch, and we're going to work everything in brackets for this next stitch in the same front loop. So we're going to create a claw that comes off of here and that comes down and up and down. Okay, so begin with a slip stitch in the front loop of this stitch, and then we're going to chain 7. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and then we're going to double crochet in the next chain, just to make a bit of a claw there, and then we're going to single crochet in this next chain. So that's the first half of our claw. Then what we're going to do is we're going to chain out again from this point. So we're going to do that by chaining 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook, double crochet in our next chain, and then single crochet here in this next chain. And then what we need to do is we're going to jump back on to sort of that main chain that we made. Remember when we chained 7, we came back part way and then we went out again and we came back down this little chain. So we need to jump back over and single crochet in these 3 chains here that are left. And then we're not quite finished with this claw. We're going to finish by placing a slip stitch in the front loop of that stitch again. Okay, and then we can take our stitch markers out. We want to single crochet in the next 5 stitches. And you can work through both parts of the stitch for these 5. Okay, and then we're going to make another big claw like over here. So we'll start by, in the front loop only, we're going to slip stitch. We'll chain 7. Okay, and starting the first little claw here, we're going to single crochet in the second chain from our hook, double crochet in the next chain, then single crochet again. Okay, and then we're going to chain 4 to make the other half of the claw. Single crochet in the second chain from the hook, double crochet in your next chain, single crochet in this next chain here as well. And then we need to jump back over here to the main chain, and we need to single crochet in each of the next 3 chains. All right, and then to finish our claw, we want to slip stitch in the front loop down here of this stitch. Okay, so then we're going to make some little legs as well, and they're going to be worked in the front loop as well, the same way that these claws were. So we're going to slip stitch in the front loop of this next stitch, and then everything in brackets is going to also be worked into this same stitch. So we're going to chain 6, and then you want to single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and then single crochet in each of the next 4 chains. Okay, and then to end off this leg, we're going to do a slip stitch in that front loop again, and then move over to the next front loop, slip stitch, chain 6, and then we'll work back along this chain, starting in the second chain from the hook. We're going to single crochet, and then single crochet in the next 4 stitches. Okay, we're going to finish this leg by slip stitching in the front loop, the same front loop that started this leg. Okay, then we're going to move on to our next leg. So each side will have 3 legs and the claws. So you need 1 more over here on this side. So slip stitch in the front loop, chain 6, and then single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and single crochet in the next 4 chains. Okay, and place a slip stitch in the front loop. All right. So then what we want to do is we're going to single crochet in the next 5 stitches. And we can work in the full part of the stitch here. Okay, and then with these last 3 stitches, we're going to make our last 3 legs. So slip stitch in the front loop of the next stitch, chain 6, single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and then single crochet in the next 4 chains. Slip stitch again in that same front loop, and then slip stitch in the front loop of the next stitch, chain 6, single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and then single crochet in the next 4 chains. Slip stitch in the front loop. Okay, one more leg to go here. Slip stitch in the front loop, chain 6, single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and then single crochet in the next 4 stitches, or chains, sorry. And then slip stitch in the front loop. There we go. All right, so there's the end of round 6. So that is probably the part that takes the most time. And then we're going to move on here to round 7. So round 7, well, sorry, before that, at the end of round 6, you'll have 10 single crochet stitches left, plus you'll have 8 back loops open here. So we're going to use those back loops to continue working in the rounds. So I'll show you what I mean here. I should put my stitch marker in before I forget. I'm going to put it in that last slip stitch here. Okay. So for round 7, you want to start by single crocheting in the back loop. So this back loop is the one left over from round 5. So round 6, we worked in the front loop to make our claw, but there's another stitch still hiding back here at the back loop. So we want to single crochet in that stitch, and then you want to find the next single crochet. So you want to make sure that you're not mistaking the slip stitches here as single crochet stitches. You want to place a single crochet right here in the single crochet stitch. So then single crochet in the next 5 stitches here. And then flip this in front. You will see the back loops that are left over here. You want to single crochet in each of the next 4 back loops. So again, these are the back loops left over from round 5. and then we want to single crochet in the next 5 single crochets. Okay, and then flip your legs forward there, and you want to single crochet in the next 3 back loops here. Go, move my stitch marker. Okay, so after you've completed round 7, now is a good time to add in the safety eyes. So the safety eyes are going to go right here in our bobble stitches. So I like to place them both in there first before I secure to make sure I'm happy with how they look. That one's a little bit further out. Let's try it in a bit closer. Nope. Okay, I'm gonna stick to this part of my bobble stitch. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and secure those. So go ahead and secure these however you'd like. Okay, all right. So then on to round 8. So round 8 is a decrease round, and we're gonna go from having 16 stitches down to 8 stitches. So this round is gonna come in quite quickly. You can start to stuff your work before this round if you want. I usually wait till partway through the round to stuff, or even once I've completed this round. If you're using a thinner yarn, you'll have to start stuffing a bit sooner. Okay, so we're gonna just go and decrease 8 times around here. So all of the stitches will be decreased stitches. Okay, so go ahead and add your stuffing. Keep about 8 inches or so of yarn so that you can cinch up the end here. And you don't need to stuff these very full. And once we complete this, then we'll make the little ridge that goes around the outside of the crab's body. Okay, so let's, whoops. Go ahead and we'll cinch this up. And tie a little knot and push your yarn through. All right. Next, what we want to do is crochet on the ridge here. So you can see the little front loops. See those vertical lines that are in there? Let's see if I can get my hook in there to show you. So there's the little vertical line and or horizontal line, and they go all the way across here. This is what we want to work in to add the little ridge. So I would normally recommend attaching your yarn at the back of the crab. So these are the open front loops from round 4. I'm just doing a little slip knot here, and I'll attach the yarn here with a little chain. There you go. And then what you want to do is along these front loops all the way around the crab, you want to place 2 single crochets in each stitch. So work all the way around your crab. So at the end of this round, you'll have 36 stitches. And then we'll just have a little bit of eye detailing left to do. And then just join to that first stitch, a slip stitch, and weave in your ends. Okay, so a little bit of eye detail, which is completely optional. But if you take some worsted weight yarn, you want about 12 inches or so, So 12 inches is more than enough. And you just want to add some whites to the sides of the eyes. So I usually come up through the bottom and then come up as close as I can to the eye, right at the bottom center. So right there. And then go back down, or in, sorry, at the top center here. And I'll go across to under the next eye. Just anywhere under the next eye to start. Okay, tighten that down. And then go back in where you came out to start. And then you want to come up right under this eye, the same way that you did with the first one. You want to come out the center, about the center at the bottom of the eye. And then go back down here, about the center of the top of the eye. And you want to ideally come out at the bottom at the same spot that you went in. So pull that over. If you tighten it, it should stay in place. And there you go. So then just tighten off, or add a knot here to the bottom and weave in your ends. And there we go. Your crab is complete. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye for now.